Mark Sher. I'm the CEO and founder of Encompass Life and the host of the Encompassing Life podcast. Today, we have a special guest from Syracuse, New York, and her name is Jennifer Waters. And she has been in the acupuncture business in Syracuse since for 27 years. She was one of three that started in Syracuse 27 years ago. So she has been in the trenches and has grown her business and has been through 27 years in a small town. So that says something about her professionalism and the results she's producing. So Jennifer, welcome to the show. Great to see you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So small town, kind of. You said 100,000 people in it, and you said you were one of three that's been in business. Are the other two still in business as well?
I think so.
Oh wow, that's kind of unusual. Most
You
small
know, you're
businesses,
right. I hadn't thought about it like that, but you're right. It is. Yeah.
yeah. So if you've been in a small community and in and I'm kind of gonna in the woo woo stuff, right? Like how most people will can visit acupuncture, and you're doing it, and you're successful for 27 years. That says something about your practice and what you're about. So Jennifer, what's had you have to have the staying power? What have you focused on to be able to stay in business for 27 years?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, those of us that work for a living usually use money to pay our bills. So that's kind of the main thing, the driving force of, when I went to acupuncture school, I thought of it as accumulating a body of knowledge that I would never regret. I never thought, oh, then I have to start a business and I have to have an LLC and I'm going to be, taking money and processing credit. We just never thought about that. So the business just kind of came about as like, well, that's what you do. Nobody was hiring acupuncturists in the 90s, So yeah, so I've always focused on caring about people, helping people, listening, and that's really it. I find when you care about people, they come back.
That's what we focus on here too. It's for me, for our company to succeed, our clients have to become successful. So if you're working with somebody on their anxiety or their sleep issue, if they become successful in being able to sleep through the night, well, that's a big deal in somebody's life. That's
Yeah,
yep, big.
sure is.
Yep. So you've been doing it for 27 years, and about how many people do you think you've seen over the 27 years?
Oh my gosh, that's a good question. I don't think like that. I probably should think more like that, but I don't know. Thousands, I guess.
Yep. So how many? Let's kind of play a little bit. So about how many do you see a day?
Well, it depends on the day. So, I also work in the fertility world. So that's very busy. It's a much different way of practicing. So, through the decades, it changes. I don't really think of it like that. We're all one in the quantum field, right? So whether you
Right.
see 20 people or one person, it's all just
Yeah. And when one person shifts, everyone else shifts along with them to some degree.
right.
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 Have
Yeah,
you ever see the experiment they did with the hundredth monkey?
probably.
So in the when they were testing atomic bombs in the Pacific atolls, they irradiated the area. And you know there's an article that said the people who were living in the islands before they irradiated the islands were living to be 250 years old.
Wow.
So then they're going, well, let's nuke them, right? So they get the people out of there, they irradiate the islands, and you know how old the people are living now? 40
Hmm.
to 50.
Sounds like upstate New York.
Really? No, really?
That was kind of a joke, but I do find longevity is on the decline, as
Yeah,
is health.
and obesity's on the way up. Huge.
Dis-ease.
Yeah, yeah. So when they irradiated the islands, they brought monkeys back to see how long, like before they could bring monkeys back to survive, and they had they put them there, and the monkeys were eating the radiated fruit they found on the island, and they were dying from radiation poisoning. So they took monkeys, they started to teach them how to wash their food before they ate it. And when they did about the hundredth monkey, every monkey on every island started washing their food at the same time.
Wow.
Yep.
That's
So
cool.
yeah, so the things go into the electric consciousness, all of a sudden, somebody has a breakthrough in one area, and all of a sudden people start all geographic area, they start to have the same breakthrough. Even like the 4 minute mile, right? Can't do it, can't do it, can't do it, can't do it. As soon
Mhm.
as the one guy goes through it,
Right.
everybody else popped through it as well.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. So cool. So tell me a little about your practice and what it looks like to be a client of yours.
It's pretty typical. I do an intake form. I use this, it's called AccuGraph. It's meridian testing software. It measures the amount of energy you have in your meridians, and people love it because they get a visual representation of what's in balance, what's out of balance, where do we have too much, not enough. So they love it. And it's a baseline. So when they come in every week or every month or every decade, whatever, I don't have a big program. A lot happens in a couple sessions. I like to get results after one session. And then we kind of co create along, but we have a baseline and then we can see progress.
Hmm.
And people love that because it gives the energetic tangibility. So then they can see, oh, wow, that all makes sense. And the AccuGraph, I love this company. They're wonderful people that developed this, and they explain what does it mean if your spleen channel is deficient, what are the physical aspects of that, the symptoms of that, and also the psycho-emotional part, which you and I agree that's where everything begins and ends. So everybody loves to focus on the physical, and it's easier actually in a way to focus on the psycho-emotional because it's with you all the time.
Yeah.
And so I really encourage people to pay attention to their thoughts and feelings, make those changes, and the body will follow.
Yeah. Yeah. I've done acupuncture over the years as well and noticed a big improvement with it also. And the emotional piece. Remember I was a kid, I saw an article in the paper that said 90% of all disease was caused by stress.
Right. And what is stress? How
Yeah.
do you define stress?
Yeah. Hey, that's a great question. How do you define stress? You know,
Right.
person beating themselves up, the person running a bunch of, complaining a bunch. The more you complain, the higher your level of stress. The more I found here is there's one word that's a direct correlation to the amount of anxiety a person has, and that word
Right.
is not. Somebody speaking, I can't, I don't, I won't. And the greater the percentage of not the person speaks, a higher level of anxiety. It's also a sign of suppressed anger and resentment. So when somebody's speaking that way,
Exactly.
yep. And Stanford did a study. They said complaining damages the neurons of the brain, and when somebody's saying I don't, I can't, that's a complaint. So,
Right.
and they said, I'm from Texas, so they Stanford said complaining damages the neurons in the brain. In other words, complaining makes us stupid.
Exactly. I like that.
I
Exactly.
like to, I'm from Texas, I like to simplify things.
Yeah.
So, yeah, complaining makes us stupid. They said even if you're passively listening to somebody complain, it
I
damages your
feel
neurons.
that way. I feel that way. I always say complaining helps a little bit, but then you got to stop. You got to move on. So let's focus on the solutions. Neutral or above. That's what we do in my house. Neutral or above. Because sometimes it doesn't have to be a great day, but it's Wednesday. So we
Yeah,
have to face the facts. The facts are the facts. It doesn't
yeah.
always have to be happy, happy, happy.
So you said you brought up your household. Do you have kids in your household, or who?
I have a daughter, yes.
What's your daughter's age?
She's 20.
Oh gosh, y'all still live together? Or,
Yes, she recently moved back home to go to college here. She was living out in Boulder.
gotcha. So cool. That's and so she's been around the healing arts all of her life, I assume.
Yes.
And what does she think about mom and the healing arts?
I don't know. I never asked.
She do acupuncture with you, or has she ever had sessions?
Yeah, she's not a big fan of needles, but she does everything else.
Cool.
It's nice to see the second generation. It's just normal for them. I mean, it's healthcare versus disease care.
Right, right,
She's not ever going to go running off to the doctor unless she has a broken something or,
right. Yeah,
no, you take care of it at home. I mean, that's acquiring the tools and the skills so that you can help yourself. The first line of defense, usually, and I do a lot of education in the clinic, really a lot, so that people aren't calling me 4 days into a sore throat or 5 days into a cough. As soon as you have the first symptom, you got to get on it, get it gone, and get
huh,
the immune system doing what it was designed to do. And if it's not, we have to look at why. What is the burden?
right. So what do you think? What's creating the burden to the immune system in your
Oh, all of the above. It's all of the above. If it's not structural, it's, endogenous or exogenous toxins, whether it's heavy metals from food, whatever. I don't believe inflammation causes any disease in the body. I believe inflammation is the response, the
right,
inflammatory response. So, sprain your ankle, it swells up as a protective layer.
right.
So, inflammation became the cause of everything right after prednisone was invented. Wow. So now everybody believes they have to decrease inflammation. So I really get people to look at what's causing your systemic inflammation, the inflammatory response in your body. And
Hmm.
everybody agrees. They're like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. You
Right.
know, gut dysbiosis. I've got a burden in my liver. I'm in fight or flight. I've got all of this cortisone pumping out all day.
Hmm.
So they get it. That's what's causing the tissue and the cells to break down and create inflammation. So I do a lot of education.
Do you get do speaking engagements
Sometimes
or do things online? How are you educating people?
I created a continuing ed class for acupuncturists related to light therapy, and that was a lot of fun. So I do education related to red light therapy. And, I'm happy to talk about anything, but I don't, the clinic is full time and I'm always open to new opportunities, but I don't do as much now that I'm 55 years young. I don't do as much as I did when I was 35 and used to go down to Manhattan. I used to teach classes at the Swedish Institute and do a lot more online stuff.
Gotcha.
I don't do that much anymore, but hey, you never know. The future is open and free.
I'll be 67 this year
Oh, good for you.
and traveling all over the place. Just started my company about 7 years ago.
Oh, good for you.
And thanks. And I've been studying consciousness for 35 plus years.
Mm,
And I had other companies as well. And I guess about 15 years ago, even after studying consciousness, I was still having health issues and stuff. Excuse me. Still having health issues and things. And I started doing these classes. One of the things I had would have been wearing glasses for 37 years. And when I got into these classes, my vision healed in a week.
wow. Cool.
Yeah, I had skin conditions the doctors couldn't heal. They give me steroids and that come and go, and those
Right.
healed as well. And
Awesome.
I've been taking allergy medicine for a bunch of years, and my allergies healed the first day I did a class with this guy. So I said, man, whatever you're doing here, I'm going to figure it out and master it.
Good
So
for you.
yep. So I've been doing that and then bringing
I
it.
bet you were born in April.
No, why do you say that?
You sound like an Aries. When's your birthday?
December 16th.
Oh,
What that means, I have zero idea. But if you can tell me, I'd be lit up. I'd be curious to know.
I'll let you know.
I know I'm Sagittarius, but that's
I'm not an astrologer, but most of my best friends are. So, but I do love systems of self understanding. The more knowledge we have about ourselves, the easier it is to liberate oneself, right? It's
yes,
not
ma'am.
all personal. A lot of it's just the blueprint of what we were born with.
Yep. The easier it is to respond to life, the greater you know your own triggers.
Right.
Yep, yep. And the greater your ability to respond to life, the greater responsibilities life bestows upon you.
Yes.
So
Well put.
thank you. So you said most of the time your clients do maybe 3 or 4 sessions or something?
It's a really good question. For a long time, I tried to create a program, because everybody else was. I'm like, I need a program. You start here and then you go here and then you go there. It just doesn't work for me. There is
Uh-huh.
no program. Because why? Because we're not in the disease care model. The disease care model is cookie cutter.
Right.
And I'm in the who are you right now? I don't care about last week. I don't care about your genetics, right? What's turning the genes on, anyways?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
spend hours doing this intake form. It's ridiculous. I have a very one page short intake form. I don't care about all of that. What I
Right.
care about is right now, what are you presenting with? What's your top complaint? And let's see what we can do about it. And people always ask me, well, how many times do I have to come? I say, how do I know? Miracles can happen in an hour. So
Right.
let's see how you respond after the first one. I like to get results and then we'll see, And so most people end up coming like once a month. And, I'd prefer if they came once a year, but they want to come more often. I'm sorry.
Right.
I hope nobody heard that, but so, I've been very lucky that Syracuse has been a wonderful place for me to have my clinic. And so I have never had to worry about getting more clients or anything like that, or putting them on a program and making them feel dependent. I want to empower people
Yeah,
so that
yeah,
they
yeah.
can do things every day to help themselves so they don't need to come back.
Yep.
So somebody might come 5 times, then I haven't seen them in 10 years, 15 years. I assume they're good to go. And then they come back, they bring their family. It's really nice to see being in practice a long time, see families grow and kids grow up. And, I feel very connected to my clients because I care about people. And that's the number one thing. And I'm not sure how much, I have a whole other conversation, related to what's happening to our field, our industry. And I'm not too excited about it.
What's that? So just share a little bit about that.
Well, again, it's the cookie cutter approach. And it's sending people through the pipeline of this is what you have to do. Lots of testing, lots of blood work, all of this stuff. And then what? So I have people coming to see me. They've been to the Cleveland Clinic and other big clinics where they've spent thousands of dollars and they still don't know what to do and they still don't have results. And I've been fortunate enough to encounter, modalities that are very effective in a short amount of time. And so it's frustrating for me when you can tell the practitioners that are in it for the money, and they're charging high rates. This is not the spirit of Chinese medicine. Remember, historically in China, the acupuncture herbalist, whoever was the local person in the community, you paid them to keep you well. If you got sick, you didn't pay, right? So that was on them. So now we have this opposite experience where most of the practitioners don't take insurance. And I get it. You don't want to be bought out by the insurance company. I do. Why? Because it's for the community. I am here to support the community. I'm in one of the poorest cities in the country. We're the sixth poorest cities in the country.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So they want to use their insurance for things that are going to help. So I go through the hassle of having a billing service and I bill insurance. So people are so grateful for that, whereas most clinics don't. And
Uh-huh.
that's, for me, that's kind of an indication of they don't care that much, to go out of their way. It's the business side of the business. So, and also the way things are going in the functional medicine and naturopathic world, it's a lot of synthetic vitamins, right? So, for example, pure encapsulation, it's the big one. All the naturopaths, all the medical doctors are selling pure encapsulations. Well, who owns them? Nestle does, right? Nestle. So the industry is getting bought out by pharmaceutical companies. All of these synthetically isolated nutrients are being formulated, but they're coming in from China. So even these companies that say they're made in America, they're still buying their stuff from China. They're selling vitamin C as ascorbic acid in high doses. Vitamin C is not ascorbic acid. Ascorbic acid is the thing that you see that's the preservative. So people are taking 2,000 milligrams of this a day. It does nothing except make you sicker. So, but they don't know. And they're like, oh, it's vitamin C. Ascorbic acid is the most fibrous part of vitamin C. It's the easiest for them to isolate out, but they're still buying it from China, putting it together here and saying it's made in the United States. It is not. So people are pushing out vitamins like I have never seen before. Listen, I used to work for the GNC in 1986. This is when I got involved in healthcare, 1986. And actually, it's a pretty good company aside from the animal testing, blah, 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 which means that the label does reflect what's in the product. Most of these companies don't. So to see the industry now go to, I think it's been valued at what, $24.6 billion business now. People are just selling, selling, selling. I have so many people come to me. They're bringing bags of pills with them. Well, I'm taking these 45 supplements, which is literally killing them. And they've spent all their money and they don't know what to do. So it's creating much more of a toxic burden. So I'm disheartened by the industry. And, so
Yeah, how we outsource our pharmaceuticals and supplements to China is stupidity at its finest.
oh, right. It's a bioweapon.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we could get on to this conversation for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And I think we should. I mean, people need to know, they need to understand what's actually happening. And it's
Mhm.
not just, we know the pharmaceutical company has their agenda, but to see it in the naturopathic world now is what's really frustrating for me. And the amount of money they're charging for these high dose vitamin C infusions and all of this stuff. And, oh, now we need to take all these antioxidants. Anybody that's taking antioxidants means they don't understand how our body works, that our cells produce antioxidants. You unburden the cell, you detox the cell, and now we have all the antioxidants that we need. So taking all of these antioxidants, it's just another health trend. It's a fad, and we've seen them come and go, and everybody gets on board, and it's not helpful, and it's making people sicker.
I got friends that jump from one MLM to the next, to the next, to the next, and they get in one, and this is the one we're going to make so much money doing this, and they in it for a year or two, and then they're off to the races with another one. This is going to be the one. These products are really great. Always chasing something.
But I don't have any issue with the direct sales model because I'm in sales. I've been selling light for 20 years. And I love being sold to. I love sales. I love marketing. I love seeing new stuff. I don't have any issue with that. But it comes from the top down. The person in charge has to have an altruistic vision. They have to actually care about their people. And if they do, that's great. It will be successful. And if they don't, then all the people they attract, it's all going to be about money, money, money. And that's just gross. And, but I think that there's a knee-jerk reaction to direct sales or MLM because historically these companies have been like that. And the top-down people are making ridiculous claims. The people selling really don't know what they're doing. But, in this economy, to have multiple income streams, that's what I've done. We want to become recession proof. You want to have other things to be able to expand your market out internationally. I get all of that, and I certainly have done that. But again, you have to have integrity, and that comes from the top down.
Yes, you do. And whenever I was a kid, when somebody gets sick, you take them to a medical doctor, and they would go, go take it to the old doctor down the street. He's been here the longest. He's seen this stuff before, and all the medicine was done by experience in the trenches. Now, all the medical advice has come from the big organizations down to the small doc, and they're just regurgitating whatever's spoken to them,
Right.
and they're foregoing their discretion of what really works, and trial and error, and up to where they actually begin to understand on their own for themselves how this stuff works, rather than just regurgitating what the CDC's telling them to do. It's stupid.
Oh, that's one of the words. Yeah.
Let's say corrupt. Make it as tagged on this on this podcast though.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Yeah, it's wild. In the kingdom of lies, truth is treason.
Yeah.
One of the things I'm a big believer in is lies take a lot of energy to maintain. In other words, if I told you something, I had to lie to you. I had to remember that lie before I spoke to somebody else. Make sure I keep the same lie. It takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of bandwidth.
Right. Oh, it sure does. Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, people can justify anything they tell themselves. So it no longer becomes a lie. It becomes their truth. And that's what's really scary. The justification of the delusion.
Yeah. They're their truth. People come to me and let me tell you my truth is. I go, your truth is an opinion. It's not a truth. It's just an opinion.
Right.
Yeah. So to me,
truths, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. So me, the measurement for a lie is anything that's going up in cost and diminishing in effectiveness is based on the lie. So look at our healthcare, look at our defense budget, look at the way our economies run. It's all smoke and mirrors, man. Eventually, all this stuff's got to come home to roost. Truth will prevail. I do believe. It's just going to be. We're going through this big wake up? Are we going to wake up before they put us in a electronic cage, or after? Anyway, what would you like to share with your patients or share with somebody listening to this? If you have, what type of issues, I'm the person for you.
So, for a long time, I've tried to specialize in things, because marketing, it makes sense for marketing purposes. For me, I don't really specialize in anything. I mean, I do a lot of fertility work. I'm very committed to helping people understand how to repair the endocrine function, right? So there's all of this talk about fertility, but very few people are talking about the endocrine glands. How can we pull them out of the autoimmune phase and into proper functioning? And so I do a lot of that, but honestly, it's anybody who wants to change. Anybody who's open to change, that's what I'm into.
Yep, that's what we do here. It affects all areas of a person's life. Like I say, simultaneously and exponentially. And people say, tell me you got to focus on one thing. Well, why? What if you can focus on what's really true? So for you, no matter what, I mean, I'm gonna be your spokesperson here for a bit. That cool? So
Sure.
you go to Dr. Jennifer. If you got anything up that you think you had to go to a specialist over here, or this person over here, or this person over here, rather than going to spend your time chasing yourself around town, come work with somebody who understands the body and how all these things work together, and who can treat all the areas of whether you're having sleep issues, whether you're having health issues, whether you're having anxiety, whatever it is. It's all going
Yeah.
to be related. It's all going to be related energetic. You clear that up, and everything clears up.
Yeah. You have to be fearless to dive into your core issues.
Yep.
And somebody like me, because I've been involved really for well over 30 years, I tend to be able to get to the root quickly, whether it's emotional, psychological, physical, whatever it is. And not everybody likes that. It can be scary, it can be threatening, it can be seen as aggressive, whatever. But it does take a certain amount of fearlessness to say, okay, to pinpoint it and say, okay, thank you for polishing the mirror.
Yep.
I find very few people can do it for me. And so when you find somebody who can actually do it for you, then that's a gem that you look for. And like you can take that and then you can work with it.
Yep. So I'm gonna have a quick suggestion on your language. Rather than saying fearless, try I work with courageous people. Say fearless.
Right.
I'm just gonna say it so you can feel the difference in it. But
Yeah.
fearless and courageous. Even vulnerable. I know a lot of modalities talk about you got to be vulnerable, and a
Yeah.
vulnerable dog lays on the ground and shows his belly.
Right.
So I'm about let's find people to really work on yourself. You got to be courageous.
Yes. It's a very good word.
Yep,
Yes.
courageous love, courageous commitment, and then things start to move.
Yes.
Cool.
Unconditional.
Yep. Cool, Jennifer. Well, what's the best way for people to reach out to you, connect with you?
Go to my website, jenniferwaters.net.
Awesome.
I'm very
And
kind.
and what you I guess Syracuse is a relatively small town. So are you like downtown, or you said near the university?
I live near the university. My clinic is not far from downtown. It's pretty close.
Gotcha. So if you're in the Syracuse area or the surrounding area, come check out Dr. Jennifer. She's your one-stop shop for acupuncture, and she sounds like she is a no BS type of a lady, and gets her stuff done.
You got that right.
Awesome, Jennifer. Thank you so much for being on the show. And I do end with one question though.
Okay.
And my question is, what do you love about life?
That it changes all the time.
Cool. Say any more you choose to say about that, or just leave it with that?
Well, that it's nothing static, right? We are evolving. It's constant flux,
Mm.
constant change and evolution.
Yeah. And the pain comes from trying to hold on to something that's meant to change.
Yeah, you got that right.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for being on the show, and blessings in your journey, and you continue on here. And I hope you keep doing well. And thank you so much for being on the call.
Thank you, Mark.
You're
Same to you.
welcome. You're welcome. Blessings.
Bye.